They stood in the quiet street for a long time. Lona's hands were still in his. Sipho's breaths were uneven, but he was calm in a way he had not felt for years. "Come inside," she said at last. "You should sit." He followed her into the small flat. The place was neat. A narrow couch, a table with a plant, 2 shelves with books, a framed photo of her grandmother. He noticed the careful order and the simple warmth. He took the chair by the table. She parked beside him. "Yeah. I did not tell you," she said. "I did not want to change your life. I wanted my own life to make sense again." "It does not change my life in a bad way," he said. "It explains it. It gives me back the missing part." She watched him closely. "You said many strong words outside." "They were true," he said. "Strong words can still be careless if they do not plan for tomorrow," she said. "You are right," he said. "We have work. We have rules. People will talk. I do not want to hurt you or your job." "I also do not want to hurt yours," she said. "You lead a company. People look for cracks. This could become a story." "We will not hide," he said, "but we will do this correctly." "What does correctly mean?" she asked. "It means you will not report to me," he said at once. "I will ask HR to move your line to the COO. I will ask the board to approve that change. I will also write a disclosure that we are seeing each other, if we are seeing each other." He stopped. He had not asked. He looked at her hands. "May I ask?" "You may," she said. "Will you let me be with you?" he said. "Not as a favor for what you did, not as payment, as a man who loves you." She took a slow breath. "I believe you," she said. "I also need to move slowly. I am afraid of many things. I am afraid of being your assistant and your partner at the same time. I am afraid of pity. I am afraid of your friend. I am afraid of the way people will look at me." "Then we move slowly," he said. "I will change the reporting line first. I will set a clear boundary with Amanda, and I will give you space to choose what you want. I also need you to promise one more thing," she said. "Say it," he said. "Do not fix my life without asking me," she said. "Do not pay for things in secret. Do not make decisions for me because you feel guilty." He looked down. He had already thought about calling the hospital, clearing the old debt, booking private therapy, and tearing down every wall in her path. He raised his eyes again. "I promise," he said. "We will decide together." Her face softened. "Okay." They sat quietly. He did not push for a kiss. He did not reach for her again. They shared tea in mugs that did not match. He told her when his board met next. She told him when her therapy sessions were booked. He called a car for himself and left when it arrived. Before he went, he turned at the door. "I slept well tonight?" he said. "You have not slept," she said. "I slept when I said what I said," he answered. "It felt like sleep." She smiled once, small and real. "Good night, Sipho." "Good night, Lona." The next morning, he wrote the disclosure to the board. It was clear and short. He stated that he had developed a personal relationship with an employee. He asked for a change. Lona would no longer report to him. He proposed that she move to the Accessibility and Operations Office under the COO, with a formal title: Program Manager for Accessibility and Employee Support. He attached a new job description based on the work she was already doing. He asked the board to approve both moves immediately. By noon, the board chair called. "I support the change," she said. "I respect the disclosure. Put HR on it right now. 2 conditions. Keep her pay at least the same, give her a path for growth, and do not sit in her review meetings." I agree," he said. HR moved fast. The COO, Thando, came up to the executive floor with a welcome folder and a wary smile. Thando was steady, kind, and exact. "You will report to me now," Thando said to Lona in a small conference room. "You will run the accessibility program. You will keep autonomy. Your work has already changed the building. We want more of that. Thank you, Lona said. We will also assign a junior coordinator to you, Thando added. Not because you cannot do the work, because it is a lot of work and you deserve support. That makes sense, Lona said. Sifo did not attend that meeting. He stayed in his office with his door open and his hands still. When Lona returned to her desk, her nameplate was different. Lona Mthembu Program Manager, Accessibility. She touched the small plaque with her fingertips. Later that day, he asked if he could speak to her in the lounge, not his office. He stood when she rolled in. I want to say this clearly, he said. You are free to say no to me at any time. You are free to end this if it hurts you. If you ever feel pressure because of my position, I will stop. I will not argue. Your choice is the only measure that matters. Thank you, she said. He nodded. He looked very tired, but not in the old way. It was the tiredness of a person who had made many decisions in a short time and tried to make each one with care. That evening, he called Amanda to meet in a public place. They sat at a quiet table. He did not order food. I am with someone, he said. His tone was calm and final. I respect our history. I cannot be what you want. I also cannot allow you to undermine my team or the woman I love. Amanda stared at him. Her mouth tightened. You do not love me, but you love your assistant? She is no longer my assistant, he said. And yes. Is this because she saved your life? Amanda asked. It is because I know who I am when I am with her, he said. I am not angry. I am not empty. I am honest. Amanda swallowed. Then she leaned back and looked at him for a long time. You are choosing a difficult road, she said. Then I will walk it, he said. She stood, placed money on the table for the water she had not touched, and left without another word. The next morning, a small blog posted a grainy photo of Sifo and Lona leaving the building at different times with a pointed headline. It was not a big outlet. The post said nothing new. Still, whispers began. Sifo released a statement in simple words. An employee I respect now reports to a different executive. Because we are building a personal relationship. We followed policy. We ask for privacy at work. He did not mention the accident. He did not mention the past. He did not mention Amanda. He went back to work. Days. Lona kept her head down through the small wave of gossip. Some people looked twice. Some people smiled in support. A few looked annoyed because gossip can be entertainment and they wanted more. She focused on the ramp schedule, the software training, and the quiet room rollouts. She had meetings with facilities, IT, and HR. She wrote clear notes. She followed up. She did her job. That evening, Sifo texted. Sifo, may I bring food to your place? We can eat and plan the weekend. No pressure. Lona, yes, come at 7. Sifo, thank you. He arrived on time with a simple dinner. They ate at her table. He told her about the board email. She told him about the junior coordinator HR had offered. They reviewed the week ahead. He did not try to kiss her. When he left, she walked him to the door and placed her hand on his chest for just a second. He covered her hand with his. Neither spoke. The touch was enough. That night, he slept without a nightmare. Saturday morning was clear. He drove to pick her up for therapy, but he parked far from the entrance because she asked for a slow walk into the day. She wheeled beside him on the quiet pavement. They did not rush. The clinic was small and clean. A therapist greeted them with open professionalism and no awe for Sifo's name. NC? In the session room, the therapist spoke to Lona first. What is the goal today? I want to sit in a car with the engine running and not panic, Lona said. Then I want to ride on a side street for 10 minutes. Good, the therapist said. Sifo, your job is to follow her lead. Do not coach, do not push. Speak only when she asks. I understand, he said. They went to the car. Lona placed her hands on the door. She looked at the seat. She closed her eyes and breathed. She got in. He moved to the passenger seat without comment. The therapist stood outside and timed them. "Engine on when you're ready," the therapist said. Lona nodded. Her hand shook on the key. She turned it. The engine started. Her breath shortened, then steadied. She held the wheel. She looked at Sifo. He gave a small nod because that was all he was allowed to do. 10 minutes passed. She did not move the car. "That is progress," the therapist said. "Now we try a short drive." They drove around the block. She kept it slow. Her shoulders were high at first and then lowered. She kept whispering counts under her breath. He stayed quiet. When they parked again, she let out a long breath and laughed once, small and surprised. "I did it," she said. "You did," he answered. They went back inside to debrief. The therapist gave them homework. Short engine on practice every other day, one side street drive each weekend, and a journal for panic triggers. On the way out, Sifo asked if he could take her somewhere to celebrate. "I would like that," she said. He took her to a small park with flat paths and trees. They sat under a shaded bench. They watched children play. A mother pushed a stroller past. Lona leaned back. The sun warmed her arms. They talked about nothing hard. He told her how his school holidays had looked when he was young. She told him about a race day she remembered clearly from before the accident. She did not use big words to hide sadness. She stated the fact, and then the next fact. "What do you want from me?" he asked when there was a pause. "Honesty," she said. "Consistency. No sudden moves, no secrets. Ask before you give. Plan before you promise." "And what do you want for yourself?" he asked. "I want a life that is not about loss," she said. "I want to work, to sing, to move in the ways I can move, to build my body strong again, to love someone with a clear mind and a steady heart. I want to be looked at without pity. I want to laugh more. I want to sleep without fear." He listened and took it in. "I can be steady," he said. "I can also learn. If I fail, I will say so and fix it." She turned toward him. "Kiss me," she said, simple and direct. He leaned in. The kiss was not rushed. It was careful and sure. Her hand rose to his jaw. His hand rested on the armrest of her chair, not gripping, not pushing. They parted and stayed close. "I am not a delicate glass," she said, "but I am a person who needs clear steps." "Then we make steps," he said. "Step 1. We keep you reporting to Thando. Step 2. We keep our dinners private, not secret. Step 3. We tell HR we are dating so they can tuck the disclosure in the file. Step 4. We build time for therapy into the week. Step 5. We go slow." "Add step 6, she said. "You deal with Amanda fully and finally." I have told her," he said. "If she crosses the line again, I will act." "Good," she said. They walked the path again. When he dropped her home, she did not invite him in. She touched his face once at the door. "Thank you for doing this right," she said. "I will keep doing it right," he said. On Monday, the COO introduced Lona to the expanded program team. She had a junior coordinator, Naledi, who was quick and curious. Lona set expectations in a calm voice. She kept the focus on results. Automatic doors on 3 more floors, new signage for accessible routes, training for managers on panic response, and an anonymous form to report barriers. At lunch, 2 colleagues made a clumsy joke about romance at work. Naledi cut in fast. "She is my manager. She is excellent. Let's talk about the actual project." The joke died. Lona thanked Naledi later. Naledi shrugged. Work is work. Amanda stayed away for 1 week. Then she sent a message to Sifo. "Coffee 5 minutes closure." He replied, "No, please respect my boundary." She sent a longer message that started calm and ended sharp. He did not answer. That afternoon, a rumor moved through the building about a special treatment program for the CEO's girlfriend. Thando called an all-hands for the program team the next day, laid out the budget in a slide, and stated exactly what had been approved months before. The rumor found no place to grow. That night, Sifo could not shake a feeling that something else was coming. He went to bed and woke at 3 with an old fear. Not the dream. A thought. He picked up his phone and almost texted Lona. He put it down again because the thought would only cause worry in the middle of the night. He waited for morning. The something arrived not as gossip, but as a letter. A lawyer for Amanda alleged workplace favoritism and retaliation. It was thin. It relied on suggestion. It asked for a settlement or a meeting. Sifo forwarded it to legal and HR with one sentence. Follow process. Full cooperation. No special treatment for me. He also called the board chair and told her everything. He gave dates, places, times, and the disclosure he had already filed. He then called Lona and asked to meet in the lounge. I need to warn you, he said when she arrived. There is a letter from a lawyer. It is not a lawsuit. It is a notice. It mentions you. It suggests I am using company resources to benefit you. HR will ask us both questions. Okay, she said. Her voice was even. What do you need from me? The truth and only the truth, he said. You owe me nothing. You do not have to protect me. Speak plainly. You have done nothing wrong. If this hurts your position, I will place myself under investigation and step back from decisions until the board clears me. You will not remove yourself from your role because of me, she said. We did what policy asked. Let process work. He nodded. Thank you. HR conducted the interviews. They were respectful and thorough. Lona answered each question. Dates, approvals, budget lines, who sent which email. Sifo did the same. HR also interviewed Thando, facilities, and IT. The paper trail was strong and simple. The program had been planned before anyone knew about the relationship. The reporting line had changed before any personal date. Legal sent a firm reply to the lawyer and shared a summary with the board. The worry lifted a little. That evening, Lona and Naledi stayed late to finalize the quiet room guidelines. Sifo was in his office with his door open, working through a complex supplier issue. At 11, the floor was almost empty. A sudden burst of engine noise outside cut through the glass. Lona stiffened. Sifo stood up fast and reached her door. She was breathing quick. Naledi held her hand and counted with her. Sifo stopped at the threshold. Lona raised a hand without looking and showed a small stop sign. He stayed in the doorway and waited until her breath settled. She looked up and gave him a nod. He nodded back and returned to his office. Later, when they all left together, she thanked Naledi first. Naledi smiled. You taught me what to do. Sifo waited until he and Lona were alone in the lobby. Thank you for the stop sign, he said. It helped me know where to stand. It helped me too, she said. I did not want you to feel shut out. I just needed 1 minute with the panic. You did well, he said. You say that often now, she said. I mean it every time, he said. She laughed once, tired and bright. Walk me to the car? They stood by the car with the door open and the engine off. She placed her hands on the frame and paused. He did not count for her. She counted for herself. She got in. He closed the door gently and stepped back. She rolled down the window. Do you want to come over tomorrow? She asked. Yes, he said. Bring fruit, she said. He smiled. I will. He arrived the next evening with a basket and a calm face. She had cooked a simple stew. They ate on the couch with bowls on their knees and the window open to the night air. They watched part of a movie and talked through the rest of it. After dishes, she wheeled to the small keyboard in the corner. Will you sing? He asked. Yes, she said, but not for sleep. For now. She sang a song that moved in small steps, not high notes. Her voice was clear and warm. He sat on the floor beside her and listened. He did not close his eyes. He kept them open because he wanted to be awake for this. When she finished, he took her hand. "I want to pay the hospital bill that still haunts you," he said. "But I promised I would not fix without asking. So I am asking. May I do it with you, not for you?" She looked at the keyboard and then at him. "Yes," she said. "If we request a full statement and pay it together. If my name stays on the record as the person who paid. If we do not make it a gift, make it a joint act." "Yes," he said. "We will do it that way." She exhaled. "Thank you." They started with small daily habits. He texted when he left the office. She texted when she reached home. He sent her a playlist for evenings. She sent him a photo of the park when she walked there with a friend. He picked up groceries for her when he did his own. She sent him a calendar with her therapy dates, and he placed them on his own calendar so he would not schedule big meetings that clashed with times when she might need him after. One night, he fell asleep on her couch with a report open on his chest while she finished an email. She placed a blanket over him and turned off the main light. She watched him sleep for a short time. His face looked peaceful. She had not seen that look often. She let herself enjoy it and then wheeled to the bedroom. She left the door open a little. At 4 a.m, he woke and saw the blanket. He smiled in the dark and did not move. He listened to the quiet. No dream, no fire, only the soft hum of the fridge and the slow rhythm of a home that felt safe. A week later, the company hosted an open day for staff families. It was on a Saturday. Food stalls, a small stage, a kids area, and tours of the building. Lona did not plan to attend at first. Crowds still made her tense. She told Sifo she would send Naledi in her place to speak about the accessibility program. "Will you try for 1 hour?" he asked. "If it is too much, you leave." "I will try," she said. She arrived with Naledi just before the stage program began. The halls were busy, but the event team had opened more space and posted clear signs for routes. Lona saw 2 employees use a ramp she had pushed for. She felt a quiet pride. She and Naledi took a small booth and answered questions about the program. People asked honest things. Will the quiet rooms be on all floors? How do we get the new screen reader tool? Where can a person go during a panic? Lona gave clear answers. On the stage, someone asked if a staff member would sing. A group shouted her name before she could react. She looked at Naledi. Naledi raised her eyebrows. "You can say no," Naledi said. Lona looked out at the staff and their families. Many faces were kind. She nodded and rolled to the stage. She told the technician to keep the volume low. She sang the same simple song. Children stopped talking. Parents turned. Sifo stood at the back with his hands in his pockets and his eyes on her. When she finished, the clapping was strong, but not wild. It felt respectful, not hungry. She liked that. She left the stage, and a little girl came to her booth to ask about the beads on Lona's bracelet. They talked about colors. The hour passed fast. When it was time to go, Lona realized she had stayed for 3. "You stayed longer than planned," Sifo said as they moved to the exit. "I forgot to be afraid," she said. "That is new," he said. "Very new," she said, smiling. They walked outside. The light was soft. He leaned toward her, then stopped. She tilted her head. "I can kiss you here," she said. "We are not hiding." He kissed her. It was not a long kiss. It was enough. On Sunday, they drove to KwaZulu-Natal to visit the grave of her grandmother. The trip was Lona's choice. She had been doing side street drives for weeks. She wanted a longer road now. They planned stops every hour. They kept the radio low. He drove slowly and talked only when she started the conversation. They reached the small village in the afternoon. She showed him the house where she had lived. It was now occupied by a young couple. They waved from the doorway. She wheeled to the graveyard. He walked beside her and held the bag with flowers and water. Water. She cleaned the gravestone with small, careful movements. She spoke aloud in a quiet voice. "Gogo, I am okay," she said. "I work in a place where they listen. I am with someone who hears me. I sing again. I drive a little. I remember you every day." Sifo stood with his head bowed. He did not speak. When she finished, she sat back and looked at him. "Thank you for coming," she said. "Thank you for bringing me," he said. They ate at a small place near the road before driving back. On the way home, she fell asleep. He kept the car steady and the music low. He felt a simple contentment he had not felt in years. 2 days later, Amanda made her last move. A journalist called the company reception asking for comment on a story about the CEO's secret savior. They had details from the hospital. Someone had given them enough to guess. They wanted a quote. Legal informed Sifo. He called Lona and asked to meet in a quiet room. "I can stop the story," he said, "but it will take time. They may publish a version anyway. I want to ask what you want. And I do not want my medical details on a website," she said. "But I also do not want to live in fear that someone will tell my story without me." "What if I tell it with you?" he said. "On our terms, with only the parts you allow." She thought for a long time. "We will write a short statement," she said. "No drama, no details. The truth is simple. I pulled you from a car. I was injured. We met again. We followed policy. We are together. That is the story." He smiled a little. "You always make the complex look simple." "It is simple," she said. "We are not a scandal. We are two people who did not give up." They wrote the statement together that evening at her table. She approved every word. Legal approved the format. The board chair sent a short note of support. They posted it on the company site and Lona's personal page. They answered no interviews. When the journalists published, their piece looked loud next to the calm statement. The noise faded in 2 days. Amanda sent one more message. "You made your choice. Good luck." He did not reply. Weeks passed. The daily habits turned into a pattern. Therapy moved from side streets to short highway stretches with a therapist in the back seat. Lona learned to lock her breath to the rhythm of the road. She also began upper body strength work at a gym with a trainer who knew adaptive programs. Her shoulders grew stronger. Her hands hurt less at the end of each day. At work, the accessibility program rolled out the next phase. Braille overlays, adjustable desks, and the first set of internships for young people with disabilities. Lona led a town hall with Thando and HR. She spoke clearly and did not over-explain. People asked good questions. The company felt different now. The doors opened with a push button, and the small change felt like a big one. Sifo watched from the back and did not sit on the panel. He did not need to. After the event, he found her in the hall. "You were strong?" he said. "We were strong," she said, glancing at Thando and Naledi. They celebrated with cake in the break room. Someone played a playlist. Lona sang one chorus because people asked once and only once. She went back to her desk with a full plate and a happy face. That night, she and Sifo cooked together at his place for the first time. His kitchen was clean, but unused. She showed him how to chop onions properly. He laughed when he did it badly and tried again. They ate on his balcony. The city air was cool. He asked her to leave a sweater there so that she would always have one at his place. She did. They did not rush intimacy. The first night they slept in the same bed, they faced each other and talked about their bodies and their fears. He asked what helped and what did not. She told him where touch felt good and where it felt like a reminder of the hospital. He listened. They moved slowly. They stopped when either of them tensed. They held each other and slept. In the morning, they tried again, with more ease, with more trust. It was warm and real. There was nothing to perform. There was only two people learning each other. Sipho's nightmares did not return. When he woke in the night, it was because she needed water, or because a siren passed by, not because of fire. He held her and slept again. They went to the hospital together to settle the old bill. The clerk at the counter recognized Sipho and became nervous. Lona spoke first and gave her name and the dates. The clerk brought the file. It was thick. Lona touched the spine and then opened it. She read one page and closed it again. "I would like to pay this in full," she said. "Here is the reference." Sipho transferred his half. She transferred hers. The system confirmed the payment. The clerk looked relieved and thanked them. Lona asked for a receipt with both names. She placed the receipt in her bag. Outside, they stood by the steps. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Lighter," she said. "Not because of the money, because the past is written down and closed." "I am proud of you," he said. "I am proud of us," she said. They walked away from the building side by side. Neither looked back. One evening, he asked, "What is your next dream?" She thought. "I want to try wheelchair racing," she said. "Not to replace what I lost, to build something new. There is a club that meets on Sundays." "I will come and cheer," he said at once. "Cheer quietly," she said, smiling. "I can do quietly," he said. They went to the track that weekend. The coach showed her the chairs. She tried 3 sizes. She chose one and began short laps. Her arms were not used to the motion yet, but her face was bright. He sat on the side with a bottle of water and did not shout. When she finished, she rolled to him with breathless laughter. Good?" he asked. "Very good," she said. They ate fruit on the grass. He wiped sweat from her forehead with the back of his hand. She leaned against him. "What about your next dream?" she asked. "My next dream is to build a foundation inside the company for staff who face sudden crisis," he said. "Not a press thing. A simple fund with clear rules." "That is a good dream," she said. "We can write the rules together." "We will," he said. They sat there until the sun dropped lower and the coach called for the last round. She went back for a final lap. He watched and felt quiet happiness. Not relief, not a rush. Just the steady good of a life that made sense. A month later, they drove back to the place where the car had exploded. The city had repaired the curb. There was no mark left. He parked. They stood together at the spot where she had dragged him away from the door. He took her hand. "Thank you," he said again. "You already thanked me," she said. "I will keep thanking you," he said. She squeezed his hand. "Then I will keep answering you. You are welcome." They stayed there for a minute, then turned and left. They had nothing to prove to the road or the past. They had only the clear tasks of tomorrow. Meetings, training, therapy, dinner, sleep. As they reached the car, he paused. "Will you move in with me?" he asked. "Not today. Not because of fear. Because the space feels wrong without you." She looked at him for a long time. "Yes," she said. "We will move in after the quarter ends. We will tell HR our new status. We will sign a cohabitation agreement so that bills are clear. We will keep our lives neat so that our hearts can be messy." He laughed once. "Deal." They sealed it with a kiss that was calm and sure.